My Little Pony, Season 9, Episode 16, A Trivial Pursuit.
That one was fun.
Eh. It had some fun, like, fan service in some ways. Like, not like
Yeah,
in
it,
the...
it, it was a it was definitely
It
a
was,
fluff episode.
Yeah.
yeah, it
Made
Well,
was
to
totally a
kind of
fan service
acknowledge the
episode.
fans.
It even fan serviced the shippers in a way,
yeah,
but
because we got ship names.
Fly
you know,
pie.
As
way.
Tim, as not, as team names. Yeah.
Yeah,
So that way they could still do the ship names, but they're for
of course, Mod and
teams.
Mudfire are always a treat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, Twilight is about a grade 1 twilighting about Trivia Trot because of the potential for a three-peat.
Go Twilight.
Yeah.
Yeah. She has a DJ Pone 3 shirt that I'm sure will be available for purchase somewhere soon, if it's not already. This was written for last week, so I imagine it already is. Spike's like, okay, you need to calm down, you need to make sure you get your rest and whatnot. And she's like, yep. It's like, yep. She's maybe not even great, maybe grade 2 twilighting, because she's gone a lot more bonkers than this, but she is sort of, she's not quite at hi girls, but she's you know, she's not quite at that, but she is
She's
up there.
still.
That's not
Yeah.
Nightmare Juicy. I don't know what is.
Yeah. High Girls was tier 1 Twilight.
Yeah.
I don't know that we'll ever have a moment more, you know, Twilight
Which can I
Nanas than
say
that.
that I love that that's a verb.
Twilighting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, it happens so consistently, which, I mean, to be fair, that's her character.
It is.
Although
Though,
verb, if you use the verb on anybody other than a brony, you will end up with them thinking you're talking about moonlighting.
oh, the Bruce Willis TV show.
I have no idea.
That was a really bad joke, and I apologize. It's an obscure Bruce Willis had a TV show for a while. It was
Okay,
called
I've been
Moonlighting.
making a lot worse jokes lately. Just be glad you haven't been subject to them.
Yes.
That's
Oh,
okay.
I take
He
pride in
mastered-
having the worst of jokes.
He has his groan.
I have too. I've been getting less and less tolerant of people.
No, he has mastered his pun groan.
Ah.
Anyway, Spike gets a lecture on the rules of this pub quiz. He admits he's glad he isn't participating, given he'd worry about letting her down. She reassures him that he wouldn't let her down. Too
Also,
bad she
seriously,
doesn't
just
take
so
this
nice.
to heart when she goes to talk, when she deals with Pinky.
Of all the possibilities,
Yes.
Pinky shows up and it's her first trivia trot.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be interesting.
Yeah. She's charting again. She's got the big reams of paper. Do this. I mean, it's completely useless because I mean, she'll either win or she won't. And knowing the odds isn't going to change that she's going to play.
Yeah.
But there's nothing she can do about it, so it's completely pointless. But I actually completely understand it. It's one of those things. I don't have a tremendously similar personality to Twilight, but I do have some of her quirks.
I think
And,
if anybody has personality, you should see Help.
Yeah, I have some of her quirks though, in that that is the sort of thing that if I was really nervous, it's useless calculations. It's utterly pointless to do,
Comforting.
but it's a comforting sort of. It keeps my mind busy on something I can control over something I can't control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a coping mechanism. It's like, I'm under stress. I don't know what to do. I can't do anything about it until, such and such time. So, useless calculations that
I mean,
seem to be doing
doesn't
something, but they don't really.
doesn't everybody do something comparable?
Yeah, something to keep themselves busy on that. But doing useless calculations is, you know, something.
Like,
At
I mean,
least doing something.
Yeah.
when you're when you've got a project or something, you calculate, I have this much left to do, so and if I do it in this amount of time,
Oh no, I wasn't that kind of guy. I'm gonna get this done right now. I'm gonna get as much done as I can, and I'm gonna get
doing
it done, and then I'm gonna get it done, and then I'm gonna be sitting on it for a week. I'm gonna work my butt off to finish it, and then sit on it for a week.
as you're working on it, calculating how long it's taking you and at your current pace, how long it should take you to finish,
It
that
doesn't
sort of
work like,
thing.
yeah, it doesn't really. I don't really do that while I'm doing it as much. Maybe on writing a paper, but like anything else, it's like, no, I'm working on this now, so everything is put towards getting this done, and so as long as I'm getting this done on time, I don't.
Yeah, what I do at conventions, it's like, okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna spend this much money on food, this much money on the vendor hall, and then I get there and it's like, give me all the shinies.
Mm-hmm.
And there's not even
Screw
Pokemon there.
food. I want this $100 mug.
That you'll
Are you
probably
ever gonna use it? No, it's just gonna sit there and look pretty because it's beautiful and I love it.
Yeah.
Yes, I don't buy merch. I don't want to get into trouble with that, so yeah, I buy DVDs occasionally. It's been a long time since I bought DVDs, but like that's my collectible. Is I just because it's the actual show and I can watch it whenever I like. If the internet's down, I just pop in a DVD. Like, oh yeah, I can
Well,
just freaking watch this and I don't have to worry about it.
you're supporting the show in
Yeah,
more ways than one.
yeah. I support the show. I get the content I actually care about, and I don't really need the.
most most of the time I get DVDs for like the bonus features.
Mm. I get it for just having a hard copy of it, so I don't have to. I don't have to worry about. Oh, is this service gonna go down someday? And then just. Oh, you invested some money into owning stuff on this thing? Oh, too bad. It's going away.
Same.
So I'm like, no, I think I'll have the hard copy so I can just go, oh yes, I wanted to watch this. Oh, it's no longer on that service. Oh well, I have it on DVD.
Yup.
Anyway, maybe I do that a little more often than I think on that. But anyway, she's so Sunburst. We get Sunburst. We got Mudbriar, Applejack, Rainbow Dash, Fluttershy. They're all there as expected. Pinky throws a wild card into the mix as teams are drawn randomly. The random element throws Twy into a tizzy.
No.
What's a tizzy?
Fly to the tizzy.
Yeah.
You get some interesting new expressions out of Twilight too.
Yeah, they kind of had fun with this. And we got some interesting teams as well with.
I think this season overall they've been experimenting with facial expression.
Well, and I think it's one of those things where it's the last season, they know it's the last season, and so they're going to have fun.
Mm-hmm.
They're not worried the budget is probably pretty good because it's it's as popular as it is, and this is going to be the last season, so they're expecting to make a bunch on merchandise for the last season,
Yeah.
especially if they have some stuff that's special to the last season, which I'm sure they will. And they're going to, you know, they know they're going to make it up on that because people are going to go, oh, I need to have this, I need to have this, and sort of thing, and being it's the last season, but yeah. Yeah, we got, was it Doctor
All
Who's and Age together. Go ahead. Okay, well, anyway. Let's see. I think.
Twilight ends up making exquisite use of the rules to.
Yeah,
Oh,
definitely becomes a rules lawyer. It's like,
Follow the rules, so feel my wrath.
if
Yeah.
if I can't win, because of that, I will take the rules to their nth degree.
and
And
no one can stop the rules lawyering of one Twilight Sparkle.
except for Granny Smith. It's like, yeah, no.
Yeah. Because no one argues with Granny Smith.
She is the judge.
yes, and a Highlander.
Yep.
Yeah.
Only be one, and I am the one.
Which is
Well,
how
technically,
Silverquill
she's
explained her
immortal
being around for so long.
because Highlander was just an immortal. The reason he was called the Highlander is because he's from the Highlands of Scotland.
From Scotland, yeah.
Whatever.
It's not. She is clearly not from Scotland.
You don't know.
More like upstate Oklahoma. Are.
She could be putting on the accent. In private, she could sound Scottish.
Yeah,
Paul?
I know.
Anyway,
They had to
Why?
move from somewhere.
It's
true.
just starts. It's a kilt. Granny, why are you talking like that? You have to know that somehow.
No, what it would be one of those incomprehensible Scottish accents, the ones that are so thick you
Thick
can
to
you
understand.
can barely understand what they're saying.
And then someone will just kind of step in and say, she's from the other company. That was a great moment. Anyway.
So, Starlight used to do the scorekeeping, but it can get pretty intense. Spike offers to do it. I mean,
Sunburst's not even allowed to say the word trivia around her anymore.
yeah. Spike offers to do it, but, which is actually quite good, because, I mean, are you really going to yell at a kid? I mean, he did go through puberty and is only a few years younger than Twilight, but everyone kind of perceives him and treats him as a youngin'. And they've got the two people involved in officiating that you can't really yell at.
Yeah.
You're not going to yell at Granny Smith. Why are you yelling at an old mare? You look stupid there. And if you yell at Spike, it's like, what are you yelling at a kid? He's just moving the scoreboard. It's like, and apparently Apple Dash is nigh unbeatable, which is interesting.
Which is, yeah, it's strange considering the fact that this is a combination of wits and not their usual.
Well, it's less clever. It's more general knowledge. What do you know? And between them, they have they're very different in what they like.
It's a combination of knowledge.
Yeah, it's a combination. They're very they sort of pick up where the other doesn't. Like if there's anything about farming, Applejack should know what it is. If it's anything about flying or weather or anything like that, Dash should know.
Wonderbolt's history.
Yeah, Wonderbolt history, anything like that, she should know. And so between them, there's not really they don't really have a good, very feminine part of the thing, for more stereotypically feminine things, part of the team, but everything else, they've got a lot of differences. They got a wide spread on their knowledge.
Yeah.
Which also brings up the fact that Rarity wasn't in this episode.
Yeah, she wasn't in the last 2 episodes.
I know, my precious Rarity.
But, yeah, she's the only one of the main 6 that wasn't in there, because that may have been just like, okay, well, it's calling in one more person for the thing. It's like, okay, we need Twilight, because otherwise this doesn't work, because we need Twilight. Let's just call Ball and Liedman and just have them do it.
Rarity's just like, I do not have time for your silly games. I run several businesses.
Yeah, and teach somehow. She runs several boutiques and still teaches.
I thought my schedule was busy.
How exactly do they manage all of their responsibilities and their teaching?
Power Rangers rules. It's like, the Mighty Morphin era, they basically just, they were constantly involved in some charity or something else on top of their schoolwork and on top of their Power Rangers duties. It's like, there's no way any kid is going to do all of this.
Their charity work tended to draw the attention of Rita and get them. So their charity work ended up being the cause for the monster attack half the time.
Yeah. Which ends up needing the charity to help pay for the thing. I
should be worshipped, so I'm going to send a monster.
No.
You're doing a charity for you're doing a international food festival to raise money for charity. I'm going to send a pig to eat all of your food.
Yeah.
I know.
Clean up the dump.
A monster that was so pathetic they didn't even need the Megazord.
No, I know what Rarity does. She just goes finds a change thing. He says, "Hey, I'm busy. Can you change it to me and teach so Twilight thinks I'm there?"
But anyway, so yeah, and Apple Dash does the whole simultaneous talking thing, which is kind of funny. Probably why they're also a team is that they kind of go in sync on that.
It helps when behind the mic you're the same person.
Yeah, it helps. It's trying to make it work. Pinky is a very excitable and distractible pony, especially with her stomach.
Oh, look, shiny. Is that a cupcake festival?
Applejack chokes on a question about Zap apples for some reason. It's like, you literally farm them.
Looks at her with a face of utter disappointment.
Yeah.
It's like, this is what you do for a living. What the heck is on your rump?
There was actually...
was a bad apples.
I watched that episode with my mom, and she was kind of surprised every time that I answered the question because I was apparently faster than those who answered it in getting the right answer.
Anyway, so meanwhile you get a break and Pinky downs a plate of food in one gulp, including the plate. Because, yeah, Pinky is just how she is.
Plate was cookie flavored.
Pinky is part goat.
I think she's part garbage disposal.
I mean, she did once eat an entire cake in a single bite.
She has her own universe inside her stomach.
Oh, so she's Kirby. I mean,
No, she's like that goat in Doom Patrol.
Or Gluttony from Full Metal Alchemist.
I mean,
I
it would make
so
sense
well.
if she's Kirby because she's malleable and pink and can eat anything.
True.
Yeah, there used to
And
be an
will do.
extra member in their party, but they got too close to a Pinky Cupcake and were never seen again.
Yeah,
And
it's just like there's just the teeth are just for looks. Inside her mouth is a grinder that just she could just and just grind through food without having to actually chew it
mhm,
before it goes down. Twilight
it has served her well over the years.
Twilight resorts to being a rules lawyer and gets a number of points deducted, as well as Cranky and Sunburst over a rule on sleeping that Cranky was breaking, apparently.
Yup.
She plays keep away with the bell with Pinky. She even tricks Pinky into getting disqualified by asking another player a question about the current category. This allows her to team up with Sunburst, and he immediately begins treating her in much the same way she was treating him. She realizes what she did. She gets Sunburst and Cranky back in play and apologizes to Pinky for her single-mindedness. They rejoin at 0 and worry about having fun this time.
Which it definitely seems to go a lot better, despite the fact that there's no such thing as a correct answer.
What do you mean there's no such thing as a correct answer?
Because they both chime in
Oh.
with simultaneous wrong answers.
Yeah. But Library Musk is a great scent.
Yeah.
That's so Twilight, I can't even... It's like...
Mellow books.
How many do they sell of the Library Musk? Probably just a few, but they sell them all to Twilight. It's like... I miss the library. Lights a candle. The smell of books.
They actually do have a perfume that is the old book scented.
That does not surprise me.
And yes, I do have it.
Yeah.
I mean, why not?
Yeah, I mean, if people will buy it,
Knowledge.
people will make it. But
The smell of old books is actually a beautiful scent.
oh yeah, no problem with
The
that.
doctor certainly loves it.
Hey, the doctor loves everything except pears.
That depends on I imagine that depends on which incarnation of the Doctor you're talking about.
True. Although, at least 2 incarnations in a row don't like pears.
2?
Pears are okay.
What you need is fish sticks and custard.
Well,
That is
Tim
good,
didn't
and
like them, and it was 10 and 12. We never heard what 11's opinion on pears was, did we? Because 12 in his regeneration speech is, and never eat pears. Which, whether he really didn't like pears or he was just having a laugh at one of his former regenerations.
They're so good.
But,
And again, that's probably the vampire in me.
I've been eating stuff like fish fingers and custard since long before Doctor Who came up with the idea.
Ah, yes, they copy you. You must sue them.
It's because they have similar ways of thinking.
Yeah, I mean, I am secretly Osgood, remember?
True.
Secretly.
Semi-secretly.
Okay.
My
Secretly is
American
in quotation marks.
mask the fact that I'm Osgood, okay?
But yeah, overall, I think it was a really fun episode.
It was middle of the road. I'm not a humongous fan of the Twilight Nanas episodes, but
yeah,
there were some fun bits in it, and it is kind of nice to see lowering the stakes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Especially
this
right
is low
before-
stakes.
Especially right before the episode they aired next.
Yeah, this was definitely a yes. This is a stressful situation, but this is also a lot lower stakes. It's like
Fun.
she's won 2 in a row. She's trying to get a third, and if she doesn't
Literally.
win, well, there's not really anything that's
It's
going to
not the end
happen out of it. It's not going to have any long-lasting implications. It's just sort of, yeah, now you just didn't win 3 in a row. You only won 2 in a row.
No.
Shame on you, Twiley.
But
Shame on you and your entire family. I am
be careful with that.
I mean, her family includes 3 alicorns,
Yes.
and there's one thing you don't fuck with alicorns.
Well, if you think about it, I mean, Twilight Velvet and I think was it, I forget what her
Nightlight.
dad's name, like Moonlight or something like that. Nightlight. Okay, yeah, Nightlight. It's like that must be one heck of a thing because, okay, you had 2 kids. One of them married into royalty in the Crystal Empire. And now
one
you
of
have
them
a grandchild that's an alicorn and a daughter-in-law that's an alicorn. And on the other side, your daughter became an alicorn and is now going to rule Equestria.
Oh Lord.
They are the proudest parents of all time.
Yeah.
The proudest parents, because how can you beat Rainbow Dash's parents?
All right.
Well, I mean, with like
They're
bragging
the
rights.
second proudest parents of all time.
Well, I mean, with bragging rights, like, how many ponies are going to try and brag to them about their kids? It's like, oh yes, mine just passed the bar. My kid's a royalty.
Mine is ruler over all.
Yes.
My kids rule the Crystal Empire, and oh yeah, all of Equestria.
Yeah. It's like, oh yeah, you see that bit? Yeah, that's my kid.
Yeah.
Which I can only think, like, at some point, Twilight just puts her face on the bits after they mint them. After she steps up, they start minting bits with her face on them.
I don't think Twilight would do that, but I'm pretty sure Rarity would.
Well, I think the mint would demand it. It's like, okay, you're the new sovereign. We have to put you on the money. Like, okay, but we put the equestrian banner on the other side. It's like that way we have Luna and Celestia on the coin still. You know, and it's like it's not like it doesn't matter whether you want to be on the money or not. You're going to be on the money. You know, it's not something she's going to order. It's something the mint is going to do. Unless she specifically says no, the mint is going to do that because that's what.
I think she would insist that Celestia stay on it.
Well, they'll still be on the reverse, but I think eventually they'd be like, no, you really need to be. If you're going to be on the sovereign, on the coin, you're on the throne, you're going to be on our coins. We still have them on the back with the banner, with the flag, with the 2 sisters. They're already still on the back. You're just also on the coin.
The flag is cemented. It's those 2.
Yeah, the flag. Yeah, put the flag on the back. Put Twilight on the front. That way you have sisters and you have Twilight. Boom. But yeah, I imagine they pull out a bit and they throw it on the table. That's my kid. It's like, do you have pictures of your kid? Oh yeah. You got a coin? Yeah, there she is.
Yeah.
Oh,
I don't think they have
money has pictures of my kid.
I don't think they have pictures of the royalty on the bits, though.
Well, we don't ever see them in detail enough. Like, we see sort of them from a distance enough where you can't really see what they have on them.
You can tell that they are a little bit of gold.
Yeah, you can tell what metal they're kind of made out of, but you can't really tell any fine details.
Since they're called bits, could one say they use Bitcoin?
Uh, apparently
That's
there's a
even
horse
earned
pun behind the fact that their currency is called bits, but I just don't know what it is.
Well, if you really wanted you're really excited about getting a nice little bonus, you might be chomping at the bit to spend it.
That's true.
That was a horse pun and a
That might be it.
Hey, my joke was great, okay?
Especially since the best way to test gold is to fight it.
Yeah.
Well, it's one thing they did, yeah. You can also do it by density, but that takes equipment.
Indeed.
Uh, any final thoughts on this one?
No.
Uh, not really.
All right.